Hello and welcome to lesson 48 of the Learning Guitar series. It's a very hot day here in London. It's very humid, so you'll forgive if I'll appear a little bit messy. Anyway, you might also notice I don't have my usual little lapel microphone. It was a very cheap lapel microphone, and it just gave up on me. So I'm using some sort of room mic. So hopefully the quality of the voice will not be too compromised. It wasn't great before. As I said, it was kind of a cheap mic, but let's see. I'll do some engineering later and see what happens. All a good reason to support the passion project I'm carrying on. So eventually I can buy a better lapel mic, which actually makes me think, okay, thanks. I want to thank all the people who are supporting this project on Patreon. It's 13 of you. I've named you all, but I don't think it's necessary. But really thank you for supporting this project so far. And also thank to the people who are subscribing to the YouTube channel. And by the way, it came to my attention that more likely, I'm not sure because it doesn't appear to me, obviously, because on YouTube I'm the creator kind of thing. There might be advertising before the videos, during the videos and stuff. It's not because of me, let's put it that way. I opted out of that. I didn't want any advertising in the videos, but I think YouTube changed their policy where they can advertise anywhere they want. I don't get paid for that. It's got nothing to do with me. Let's put it that way. And so in a way, I feel like apologizing because I hate when you're in the middle of something and then suddenly advertising pops out. Anyway, let's get on with the lesson. Lesson 47, we discussed the relationship in between the minor pentatonic and a normal blues progression. In this lesson, we're going to continue over that kind of path, but we're going to look at a minor blues as opposed to a dominant 7 bass blues. First of all, let's look at the progression so we can see what we're talking about. So last lesson, we looked at this particular progression. We did it in the key of A, and so you had A7, D7, etc., etc. You can go back and look at the lesson. Now, the equivalent minor, as you can see, all is happening, all these chords, all these dominant 7 chords, now they're all minor chords. So A7 becomes A minor, D7 becomes D minor 7. I'm using, we could even just say D minor. It's okay. I'm just extending the chord. The chord number 5, E7, becomes E minor 7. If you want to look at it from the point of view of the intervals, so again, it's a progression that involves a 1, a 4, and a 5 in whatever key you want. So in this example, we're using the key of A, and chord number 1 is A minor, chord number 4 is D minor, because D is the 4th of A, and chord number 5 is E minor, because E is the 5th of A. As we will see in the future, this 5 chord can be seen as a dominant 7 chord and probably an altered dominant 7 chord. But we will see this in the future also when we discuss harmonic minor scale. So in terms of progression, it's fairly easy. Actually, if I play it to you, you probably recognize it. You must have played it hundreds of times. While I play it, I'll record it, so eventually at some point I'll play on top of that and you can see what I mean. So I did a couple of rounds. The first round I was using like big barré chords, and in the second round I was using extensions. In this case, it was say A minor 11 or D minor 13. Possible extensions. The same thing, E minor 11, probably at some point. Now, the reason I was doing that is because it leads me to the next point. Of course, we can use A minor pentatonic over this. Let's have a look why we can do that from harmony and theory point of view. Is fairly simple. So here I have my root note, and we know that it's 4. It's going to be here. Let's call this a 4, and 5 is going to be here. So here my progression is based on A minor, D minor, and E minor. Let's have a look at the pentatonic. This is my minor pentatonic, A minor in this case. And of course, when I'm playing, I'll put them here. When I'm playing A minor, of course, as you can see, all these notes of A minor are right here. So obviously, the chord is contained, okay? Let's have a look at what happens when we play D minor. So let's make this a root note, and this is our D minor, okay? And let's superimpose our pentatonic on it. As you can see, what we have now for D minor is the root note, the flat 7 is in there, you have an 11th sound, you have 2 sounds, a 9th, but still, we are in the realm of A minor. In this case, our reference scale is going to be A minor Aeolian, and I'll show you in a second why. Nevertheless, we're not alterating, so when the D minor comes and we're playing A minor pentatonic, we're getting some interesting sounds, but no alterations, no nothing. Let's look farther and let's see what happens when we play E minor. Okay, so I'll write E minor here so you have a proper reference. Okay, and I'm going to write like a big chord, okay? That's, barré chord, E minor. Now let's have a look at what the pentatonic creates. It gives us a 4th, it gives us a sharp 5, or let's call this a flat 6. In a second you'll see why. Flat 7, root note, so it's in there. Flat 3, okay, it's in there, and 11. So as you can see, our minor pentatonic is still in there. We're still just creating some interesting sound. In this case, like flat 6 over, so like E minor with a flat 6, E minor 11. But when you're playing in terms of chords, you can just play E minor. Of course, if you wanted to embellish it, those are pretty reasonable embellishments. They're actually good sounding. They're all derived from Aeolian. We studied Aeolian, probably one of the first 15 lessons on this course. And again, that's the reason why. Sometimes people wonder, I've been asked, why am I discussing minor pentatonics now, when people generally does that as the first thing ever. Instead, I went through a lot of stuff with regards to all the major modes, okay? And the reason is because you've done that kind of theory and harmony connected to major modes. Now this becomes kind of easy to understand and apply it, not just to the blues, at the end of the day, but and not in a pedantic way. You know what's going on. Let's have a quick look. I'm gonna write Aeolian here. Now, this is Aeolian. I'm going to write 2 octaves of it. Now, first of all, what I want you to notice is that, of course, the pentatonic is contained. It's here. This is your A minor pentatonic. Okay? There you go. It's in there. Now, once we establish, so no surprise there. Once we establish that, let's look at how those chord number 1, 4, and 5 pan out within the scale. A minor, we actually looked at it before, but anyway, A minor is here. As easy as that. Let's look at D minor. Now you'll notice that also D minor is there. So this is D, that's the root note. But here is your chord, that's D minor. And if you want to play D minor 7, it's here. So you could do it this way if you wanted to. Okay? Same thing for A minor 7. Let's look at, let's put this back. So D minor, we established it's contained in the scale. Let's also have a look at E minor. So that's E note, that's the flat 3, that's the 5, that's E minor. Now the only thing is, like, if I look at it from, if I put here the root note, you can see the intervals that we're adding if you're using the scale. Flat 6, again flat 2, which is a flat 9. That's from an E minor perspective. Nevertheless, the bottom line is that all those three chords, A minor, D minor, E minor, all the three chords that create basically A minor blues, they're actually contained into that Aeolian scale, Aeolian, which means I could actually use the scale if you want it to be even more melodic. Or, as we know, the minor pentatonic, it's in there, as I demonstrated to you, and that's why A minor pentatonic would cover all those chords. And don't forget, pentatonic is 5 notes, Aeolian is 7. So, like, basically you're adding, when you're playing Aeolian, you're just adding 2 notes to that. In this case, when you think of the pentatonic, what you're adding is this note, okay? From a perspective of A, this would be a 9, and this would be a flat 6. Let's look at, from my Aeolian point of view, how that sounds. So, as you can see, Aeolian works, and you get this kind of very melodic phrasing that, in a way, it doesn't sound like the blues. As a matter of fact, on a Strat, if I use this pickup, you get even that kind of, I'll show you how to describe. Which is kind of fun. I don't know what you would call that style, but it sounds cute. Probably you put a tremolo on that as an effect, and it gets even better. The other thing we wanna point out is, so let's use like just a minor pentatonic with this, okay? And again, you'll notice that the sound is gonna suddenly change. Now, the reason I did 2 rounds and 2 cycles of that progression, in the second cycle I used minor 11. I extended the chords, okay? It is actually to make you understand that even if I'm playing a pentatonic over that, it still sounds cool. And I'm not altering the chords. So the extensions are derived from that Aeolian scale, okay? Now, the way you do this in terms to understand what chords can you use beside, basic minor 7. Minor triad works and minor 7 works. That's common, okay? To no matter what mode you want to think of. But if we're starting to think in terms of Aeolian being the starting point, what you need to understand in this case is, okay, when I'm playing A minor, let's highlight A minor. A minor is here. And let's make sure that we do A has to be our root note, so I can see the rest of the intervals. Okay, the rest of the intervals gives me an A minor. I could use A minor 9. That would be fine. I could use an A minor with a flat 6 or a sharp 5. I can use A minor 11, because don't forget the 4th and 11 is the same note. So the embellishments I can use on top of A minor 7, which is here, okay, are 9, 11, and sharp 5 or flat 6. So if I have a basic A minor, you want to map out where your 9, 11s and sharp 5s are and all that kind of stuff. But for example, here, if I use this particular area, again, 5 shapes, I'm never going to be tired of playing this. A 9 is here, for example. This is our sharp 5. There is an 11 here. In fact, what I was playing before, this is an A note, so that's A minor 11. A minor 11 with a 9. Or A minor 11 with a sharp 5. And these are all chords that you can use, and replace the one in the diagram I showed you. They're all A minor, and they're not going to mess around with the fact that you're playing either your minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic over it, or that you're playing Aeolian. Let's have a look over D minor, what we can do. So, in order for you to understand, in this case, we need to, let's put again all our scale here, but we need to change the root note. So now let's put the root note as D, okay? And if you look at it from the perspective of D, here is your basic triad, and so D minor or D7, of course it's in there, okay? That's D minor. Let's exclude all these ones. If you look at the extensions, now I have 2, 4, and 6, which is the equivalent of 9, 11, and 13. So it's basically D minor Dorian, if you want to change mode all the time. But, let's keep it simple. And if you think in terms of chord, okay, that's my basic D minor. If I think of D, this, for example, is a 9. We can use that. This is a 6. There is an 11 here. So let's say since this is D as a bass, this is just a normal triad. This is the 9. Triad with the 13. So let's combine this with the A minor we've done so far. You have these kind of sounds as opposed to. I can get these kind of sounds. Now let's have a look at what we can do over the E chord. And again, the theory is still the same. Let's put back this on. Let's make E the root note. So this is E. And as you can see, we have 3, 5, flat 7. The E, of course, is in there, so that's our, E minor, E minor 7. They are in there. If you look at the extensions, now you have a flat 9, a flat 6, or sharp 5, and an 11. So I can use E minor, B chord, E minor 7, chord. But as we have seen from the extensions, I can use D minor with a flat 9, there is one here. That's the sound of it. Or with a sharp 5, which is here, or flat 6. And D 11. D minor. I could actually play all those chords as minor 11th, and you will get this kind of sound. I hope it makes sense. So it's like the minor blues is quite, if you take it face value, again, it's a quite simple progression, all minor chords, same progression as the major blues, we're just using minor chords instead. But there's more that meets the eyes in terms of being able to extend the chords, for example. That's always an interesting kind of thing to do. I particularly like the minor with a sharp 5 on top. To me, those are interesting sound in terms of using them. Over a minor blues as opposed to just I hope it makes sense. And of course, in last lesson 47, yeah, we looked at the blues scale. So we added the flat 5 to our pentatonic. Same consideration. You can always add it here too. It just works. I think this is it for this lesson. I hope it's kind of clear. Of course, for the Patreon supporter, I'm going to put some of this analysis. I'm going to put it into more appropriate PDFs and present them to you that way. I'm going to try and put, as usual, I keep saying this, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm going to definitely try and put a backing track on so you can practice. But again, probably a minor blues or in a dominant 7 blues, probably there's plenty of backing tracks on YouTube. I hope everything is clear. If something is not, again, feel free to drop me questions. I'm more than happy to take the time to answer them. And again, thank you to the Patreon supporters. Thank you to the YouTube subscribers. Apparently, I'm not too familiar with all this kind of stuff, but if you click the notification bell or stuff like this, it'll probably help support the channel in terms of making it a little bit more visible on YouTube, because probably it's it's well hidden from any form of recommendation. I'm not paying for advertising, and I'm not doing what you call it, clickbaiting. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Anyway, enough talking. I hope you understood something from this lesson. I hope it will help you expand your vocabulary, and if anything, I hope you enjoy playing guitar. Thank you. Bye.